Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tungsten Wire. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about Netanyahu, Israel, and them trying to mobilize their digital army, you could say, to spread, you know, pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian rhetoric. So without further ado, let's get into it. Netanyahu mobilizes digital propaganda machine to counter Gaza war coverage. As verified evidence of atrocities in Gaza continues to circulate online, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is urgently directing his supporters to wage a more aggressive digital propaganda campaign, targeting social media platforms where Israel is losing the narrative battle. And honestly, it's too late, right? Everyone has seen it. Right now, I'll go into it a bit later, but right now, they have a different goal in mind. During a meeting with pro-Israel influencers in New York, Netanyahu framed the widespread global criticism of Israel's military actions as an information war. In an attempt to consolidate his base, he denounced critics across the political spectrum as the woke Reich. He identified TikTok as the most crucial front, openly admitting that Israel is not winning in the court of public opinion and blaming this failure on hostile algorithms and automated accounts rather than on the documented impact of Israel's military offensive. This is hilarious because, as we've always said, when a Zionist is talking, when a Zionist is making an accusation, it is always a confession. We know that Israel is using bots. We've talked about it in the past about people who have written bots that are programmed to just respond to like certain people, like Zoran Mamdani has like 3 bots that are always posting pro-Israel, pro-right-wing stuff. So this idea that they're losing the narrative battle because of bots, no, they're losing the narrative battle in spite of them using bots. Hostile algorithms, absolutely not. They pro-Palestinians are being censored way more than pro-Israelis, if pro-Israelis are being censored at all. And I'm not just talking about on social media. In real life, look at the campus protests. Now, not once have I seen armed security or armed police officers brutalizing pro-Israeli protesters. They've been doing it to pro-Palestinians, though. Also, it's interesting that he calls them the woke Reich. He's trying to make them sound like the Nazis when he's the modern day Hitler, overseeing the genocide of Gaza. This push coincides with a concerning shift for TikTok as the company is transferring its US operations to Oracle. The company's Zionist founder, Larry Ellison, is a major financier of the Israeli military, having donated millions to the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces. This move has sparked alarm that the platform, once a space for uncensored Palestinian testimony, could be manipulated to align with pro-Israel narratives. When this was written, could be manipulated was the right thing to say. Now we can say it is manipulated. Guy Christensen, who runs Your Favorite Guy account, was talking about how his content is shadow banned and censored, and he's gotten a bunch of strikes talking about Gaza. And there are new guidelines saying that if you talk about Hamas, you have to condemn them and talk about how they're designated a terrorist organization in America. Now, the funny thing is, if you're a reporter, right? If you're just talking about the news, you're reporting the news, like for example Ryan Grimm from Dropsite News is doing. What will happen is he will get it. It's not even about demonetized. He'll get shadow banned because, like, as a reporter, he's just going to say Hamas said this. A spokesperson for Hamas said this. And he's going to get shadow banned because he didn't say a spokesperson for Hamas, who are a designated terror group. Like let's say he says Hamas 8 times in a TikTok post. Every single time he's going to say that, it doesn't make sense. Another thing, they have banned the juice box emoji. Now, I'm okay with that because it doesn't bring anything to the discourse. If anything, it is just an anti-Semitic tool for people to call out Jewish people. They're saying juice as in Jews. And if anything, it hurts the Palestinian movement. So I'm okay with them getting rid of that. They've appointed a new content moderator. She's going to be the head of the content moderation team for TikTok. She's not only a Zionist, she's not only an Israeli, she's served in the IDF. So it's not going to be a fair comparison. And when I post about liberals and post about Trump or anything, they do. I don't have a big following on TikTok. They do fine. Let's say they get 100, 200, 300 views. Not a lot. I don't care. If I post about Gaza, it gets 2 views, 7 views. I didn't before. I've got one with like almost 13,000 views. But this one, now they get 2 views, 7 views. The moderation is happening now. I don't post on TikTok anymore. It's no point. Anyways, let's keep going. The strategy extends beyond social media into the education system. Advocacy groups like Stand With Us are embedding pro-Israel materials in middle and high schools. With curriculum like the Choices program have faced scrutiny for alleged bias. In the UK, teacher training kits funded by Zionist networks are packaged as neutral to subtly shape how the Palestinian struggle is taught, ensuring a generation is influenced by a one-sided perspective. So essentially what they're trying to do here is teach something as neutral, but in reality what it is it is pro-Zionist, right? It's going to paint the oppressed people, which are the Palestinians, as the bad guys, just like the West has done. In Canada, in America, I remember reading the history textbooks, and they painted the Americans and the British settler colonialists as the good guys, and they talked about the natives as decent, but they talked about how they would come and scalp people. They don't point out that these people were dispossessed of their lands. These people were massacred by these European settlers. They don't talk about that. So growing up, I didn't think all Native Americans were savages, but I definitely was taught that we were the settlers were a civilized people who came to teach the savages whatever. And when in reality, Canada, America, is founded on genocide, just like Israel. Netanyahu's call for a digital offensive comes as tech companies expose the very tactics he seems to be endorsing. Meta recently dismantled a network tied to an Israeli firm that used AI to impersonate Jewish students and African Americans, pushing pro-Israel propaganda. Furthermore, a $600,000 contract between Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and a top U.S. PR firm was revealed, explicitly tasking the firm with running a bot-based program to flood TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms with pro-Israel content. Exactly. So that's another. I think I said it many times in other videos. When you're arguing with a pro-Israeli, 9 times out of 10, it is going to be a bot. And that one other time, it's going to be some old lady who learned about Israel and just can't, separate what she sees Israel as, right? She's been taught that a lot of my Jewish friends, if you talk to them, or even people online that have talked about this that are Jewish, they are raised thinking or under the idea that Israel itself is fundamental to their Judaism. It is the only safe haven for them, when in reality it is the biggest creator of anti-Semitism under Netanyahu's rule. And we can't just blame Netanyahu, by the way. This has been going on before Netanyahu, and it's going to keep going after Netanyahu until the global world, the global population, the global community does something. This modern digital onslaught is an extension of a long-standing media strategy. For decades, Israel has benefited from a powerful Hasbara, or propaganda, ecosystem, bankrolled by figures like casino magnate Sheldon Adelson and media mogul Haim Saban, who use their influence to shape a favorable narrative in Western media. Now, facing a loss of that control, Netanyahu is desperately trying to reclaim it by dominating the decentralized world of social media. That's another thing. These Adelson peeps, you know what they did? They gave Donald Trump $100 million on the promise of him allowing Israel to annex the West Bank, which is Palestinian land under international law. That is how cheap they are. They are ready to give everything up for $100 million. Donald Trump is. A current campaign is rooted in Netanyahu's long-standing project to conflate Islam with terrorism. Following his brother's death in a 1976 counter-terrorism operation, he established the Jonathan Institute, which became a key platform for framing political violence as an inherently Islamic threat. This foundational prejudice continues to underpin the rhetoric used to justify Israel's policies today. Despite this extensive propaganda machine, Israel is facing a growing isolation. At the UN, Colombia is leading a charge to challenge the U.S. veto power that has repeatedly shielded Israel from accountability for potential war crimes in Gaza. Why did he add potential? No, there are war crimes. We've seen them with our own eyes. A UN commission has now come out and said it's genocide. The IAGS themselves have said it is war crimes. It's a genocide. B'Tselem, which is a human rights organization founded and based in Israel, has said it's genocide. If you don't want to listen to the UN, fine, listen to the Israeli human rights organization. Simultaneously, raw footage from the devastation in Gaza, often dismissed by Israel's supporters as Pallywood, continues to reach global audiences, offering a stark, unmediated counter-narrative to the official Israeli line. It is not Pallywood. They have been caught many times showing videos of behind the scenes of movie productions from Lebanon or other Arab countries to try and prove that it's Pallywood, but it's not. Everybody knows. Every doctor that leaves Gaza talks about the horrors they've seen, talks about the children they've seen targeted by snipers. Every doctor, whether they're white, black, brown, Asian, whether they're Christian, agnostic, atheist, Muslim, Jewish, every single one has come out. Every nurse has come out and talked about it. And you guys won't want to listen to them. I don't know why. That's fine. Like I said, we've got all those other human rights. Amnesty International, Oxfam, they don't matter anymore because they're saying something against something you don't like. In the end, Netanyahu's frantic digital mobilization is an admission that the sheer scale of destruction and human suffering in Gaza is increasingly difficult to cover. No amount of bots or curated classroom materials can fully erase the image of the violence that the world has already seen. Exactly. That's the thing. So, like I said earlier, I was going to get into this. They are not utilizing social media and these people now for, changing the narrative with young people. They've lost that war, right? It's way too late, right? This is the final push for them to try and get Gaza, and they won't succeed. But they know that this is their final, this will be their final chance to do it. And so what they need is to keep getting their funding. And so they're using these social media stars or whatever, influencers, the same way Democrats use them, to show the old people who open their checkbooks and write huge checks that the young people are still with them, even though they're not. The young people on both the left and right have a majority negative impression of Israel. All right? Now, there's a new program. Let's go ahead and talk about that. That has been revealed. Israel is paying influencers $7,000 per post. Netanyahu referred this week to a community pushing out preferred messaging in U.S. media, and boy, are they making a pricely sum. Right? So far, registration shows Israel paid $900,000 for U.S. influencers from July to December 2025. This is a list of identified pro-Israel influencers who attended Israel influencer events between August and September. This is from Gen X Girl on Twitter. Israel 365 trip to Israel, Bill Ackman's Hamptons retreat, where reportedly he screamed at Charlie Kirk about, getting a bit, like questioning Israel a bit. So he wanted him to be way more pro-Israel. So he apparently, according to Candace Owens, who seems to be like one of the only friends Charlie Kirk truly had, because everyone else, they are not mourning him the right way in terms of being his friend. Anyways, that's a different story. Had talked about how Bill Ackman apparently just had an intervention, and there was some other Jewish lawyer, lady lawyer, I forget her name. She calls herself the Jewish lawyer. She apparently gave him a dressing down. And then Netanyahu's influencer event, which was at the UN General Assembly. So there's Emily Austin, who you don't know. She has so many followers, but no one knows who she is. She's on DAZN apparently. She's a D-list. She's a D-list basketball or wrestling or boxing reporter or something like that. There's that Xavier guy who's with PragerU, and there's a bunch of other people. Most of them I don't even know, which is hilarious. This Xavier guy has 20 times the followers that I have, and he gets the same amount of views as me, which is crazy. Like 118,000 versus my like 2,000, and he's getting 1,000 views like me, or 700 views, or 600 views, or 100 views on some of his videos, like me. It's crazy. They're not getting their money's worth. So yeah, so here's an invoice of them getting paid. So new WikiLeaks exposes secret Israeli influence campaign in the U.S. Leaked FARA filings show that Bridges Partners LLC, acting for Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has been distributing over $900,000 to recruit, train, and pay U.S. influencers to flood American social media with pro-Israel content. Influencers are reportedly receiving up to $7,000 per post, coordinated with Israeli partners under campaigns like the Esther Project, not to be confused with Project Esther, by the way. Payments are itemized for concept development and content creation, with 25 to 30 U.S. influencers onboarded this summer alone. Funding comes directly from Israel's $150 million foreign influence budget, approved last year to counter collapsing U.S. public support. So let's look at what that $7,000 is getting them. So the best conservative influencers Israel can buy. Emily Austin participated in the Epstein Binders hoax and joined Netanyahu's recent influencers meeting. Xavier DeRusso attended the Secret Hamptons Influencer Summit with Bill Ackman, then junketed off to Israel. Now watch this and look how garbage this
Imagine supporting people who start wars just to lose the wars so they can cry about it and then try it all again.
You must see anti-Semites are literally obsessed with Jews. Now walk with me. While you must see anti-Semites are stacking eviction notices, Jews are out here stacking up businesses.
Jews control all the industries. Maybe if you spent more time taking notes from successful people, you wouldn't have to spend your nights and weekends spreading hate from your anonymous account with an anime profile picture.
Do you work as hard as Jews? Do you network like Jews? No, because you're too busy cheering on a group of musty terrorists who smell like dirty earring backs. And if we're gonna keep it real, you're really mad because your income is giving side hustle.
Period.
How you gonna hate from outside, Shabbat? You can't even get in.
Bro, they got $7,000 for that? And there's two of them, so they might have gotten $14,000 for that. Bro. But I think this was from like 2021 or 2023, I think they posted this. So they probably didn't get paid. So Xavier's come out and said that he didn't get paid for this. So either he's lying, and he did, which is disgusting, or two, he's not lying, and he decided to do this for, I don't know, vibes. He likes to support genocide for the vibes. I don't know. Either way, disgusting. Anyways, let's go into Emily Austin. Who is she represented by? She's represented by Wasserman Speakers. By the way, apparently she's under 30 years old. Bruh. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Anyways, she was part of the redacted Epstein stuff. That's right. She's part of that right-wing group like Libs of TikTok who got the Epstein files, which were a hoax, right? The Epstein files themselves, I don't know what he was disgusting, and Trump was definitely in the files, in the flight logs. But like this thing was a hoax, like, oh, we're gonna expose everybody, and then it was nothing, right? So not only was she part of that, she's also represented by Wasserman. Now let's go take a look at where Wasserman is. That's Wasserman. Who's he with? Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, Emily Austin's not a good person, bro. Anyways, this is from Hippie Resident. Nice name. Remember the time Emily Austin with a group of influencers got redacted Epstein files binders from the White House? She's also rep by a management company owned by Epstein's good friend Casey Wasserman. Yeah, man. Like, it's crazy that they're getting that type of money for such cringe stuff. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this piece, not the video is all ranty and stuff, but the article, support the Tungsten Wire by subscribing. It's free. You can subscribe to us on youtube.com at the Tungsten Wire or on Substack at thetungstenwire.com. We take no corporate money, no sponsorships, and no pay-to-play deals. Our work is fully independent and fueled by readers who care about honest, uncompromised political commentary and journalism. I am not a journalist. If anything, I'm a reporter. If anything, I'm really just a commentator. I'm a dude who rants into a camera because his wife got sick of listening to him. Subscribing costs nothing, but it helps us grow, beat the algorithm, and bring more eyes to this work. So yeah, please subscribe now to thetungstenwire.com. I truly appreciate you joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think Netanyahu is going to be successful with this? Do you think it's actually going to change public opinion, or do you think it's too late? No matter what kind of censorship they do, it's done. I'd love to know your opinion. Anyways, thank you very much. Peace be upon you. I wasn't ready to end the video. Peace be upon you now.